Hello, today I want to talk about some vintage enamel cookware, lecreuset being the most famous brand, but there's others around. It's fun to collect and there's a nice market for it. Let's have a look together. Today, talking about vintage enamel cookware, two names come into the story. First, industrial designer Raymond Louis, very famous, and also American television cook Julia Child. Come and watch the story together with me. I'm Cornelis from Vintage Detective, and let's have a look. These are all thrifted pieces. Enamel cookware is pretty popular. The most famous brand, lecreuset from France, but there's other brands around. The kettle you have seen in another video, and we have more pieces here which are other brands which I'll explain later. The left side of the screen is all lecreuset. We have a little saucepan here. You can have a look at the bottom. It says 16 centimeter diameter, made in France. Lecreuset is very heavy, and they started making cookware in 1925. It's actually founded by two Belgian guys who started a business in France. Here is another back stamp. Lecreuset, and this one is 20 centimeters long. Also very famous were the Dutch oven type of pans, like this yellow one. That's not a creuset, but the pans with a lid. And here the baking dishes. They are extremely heavy. These, you can see, it's a 36 centimeter one. I bought a lot of these. Actually, I sometimes use them when I have to glue things to have a nice weight. They're like really heavy. Here we have a saucepan with a wooden handle, and I think this one came with a lid as well, but you can find the lid separately. And here we see the 20 centimeter. The kettle I have shown you in another video. That's a new one. But the company is still in existence and doing very well. And I also saw that there is a Dutch auction house, Katawiki, doing weekly lecreuset auctions. That's how popular it is. Here we have a few other ones. The green one with the separate handles is from Germany. Let's have a little look. It is the focus in. Can you see it? The mesh. I don't know where these are made, but they came in many colors. The green, but also more pastel colors, and they have the separate handles, and they're apparently copied from a Danish design. It's all 50s, 60s, 70s cookware, except for the kettle, which is new. Then another important brand is here, is the Descoware, which comes from Belgium. The Descoware company started in around 1930. The creuset company started in 1925, and they were big competitors. One of the good things of the Descoware was that it was a little bit lighter than in weight than the lecreuset, which all pieces are extremely heavy. You have to have a muscular woman in the kitchen to lift those pots. Here I'll show you a stand. This one to only show you Belgium, and the size 20 also. In United States the lecreuset was pretty popular as well, and there was a famous television cook and recipe maker, Julia Child, who was very much promoting the Descoware brand because, like she said, it was lighter. The response of Le Creuset was to actually buy the company of Descoware in about 1950s, 60s. That happened. So there's still a lot of Descoware around in America due to Julia Child. But then after the 60s, 70s, it all became Le Creuset. When the pot reads Belgium, it doesn't have Descoware mark. It will still be made in the Descoware period. If you find pots with the Descoware mark, you can be sure they're from the 50s or 60s. Let's speak about Julia Child. She was an American-born chef, born in 1912, and she died in 2004. She was very famous on American television with her cooking shows, and an author of cooking books. One of the most famous ones, Mastering the Art of French Cooking, where she promoted the French cooking to the bigger public. One of the things is that she, doing French cooking, it was pretty fancy to use French cookware, so creuset was a good option, but in fact she preferred the Descoware. The Descoware is thinner than the Le Creuset pots and much lighter, in such a way that even Descoware made a special color for her, the blue color pot. And obviously the creuset company didn't like that because the sales of Descoware were booming in the United States. So what Le Creuset did is they bought up the Descoware company. Problem solved. The pot with the lid generally is called a Dutch oven. That's basically an American term. The name Dutch oven, there are several theories where this comes from. Either because the Dutch from already in the 1600s were making the black cast iron pots which were hung over the fire, but other theories say that it was Dutch merchants who sold the lidded pots to the Pennsylvania Dutch colonies in the United States. Dutch oven was one of the very important products both of Descoware and of Le Creuset. And Le Creuset actually commissioned a very famous industrial designer, Raymond Louis, to design a new type of Dutch oven, which turned out to be like a very streamed oval square model called the Coquel. I'll add in some pictures and I'll tell you some more about Raymond Louis as well. Then I want to speak about world famous industrial designer Raymond Louis, French by birth, born in Paris, 1893. He died also in France, in Monte Carlo, but in his life in about 1938 just before Second World War he moved to the United States and also got an American passport. Most of his working life he was in the United States. He's well known for several things. One of them, for example, the redesign of the Coca-Cola bottle, like it is the shape how it is today. Another thing is the Shell logo. Also he designed a Greyhound two-story bus in the 1964 I think. A two-story bus, so it could accommodate more passengers and still comply with the regulations of a normal size bus. Also known during Second World War, redesigning the logos of the Lucky Strike tobacco firm, making it a brand that could be smoked by soldiers, and that kind of saved the Lucky Strike company. Many other things like locomotives, fridges, a lot of things he designed. Here he comes in our story. He was commissioned by the lecreuset company to design a Dutch oven pot with a nice look. It came out as La Coquelle, which is kind of a square oval pot with a lid, and that was in about 1958. They were produced until 1975. I've never actually seen one. They are in museums as well, but I think it's pretty hard to find them in the wild. The La Coquelle cooking pot was reissued in 2005 in orange, I think. I'm not sure about other colors. Costs a small fortune, but they can still be found in small numbers. More information about Raymond Louis, I found a website. It's called profectosmag.com, and just check for Raymond Louis. It's a nice story to read. Okay, there's two enamel pots to look out for. The one is the Dansk carbon style cooking pot with a lid, very recognizable, designed in 1957, sold from 1958 to I think 1970, designed by Danish industrial designer Jens Kistgaard, but the Dansk company was actually American. This pot is very famous, but it got reissued in 2012. So that's kind of, you can buy a new one now for about 300 euros. That takes away the fun of finding an old one. Another one is the enamelware from the Finnish company called Finell. That's related to the Arabia Ceramic Company. These are two coffee percolators. They are from my own collection. Designed by, I have to look on the paper, Antti Nummesniemi. Yeah, kind of, yeah. In about 1950s, late 50s I think, and it's called the Pico Pettori. They come in different colors and sizes, and they're pretty sought after as well. The company stopped working in about the 70s, so if you find one, you know they are old, 50s to 1970s. Just wanted to mention these two things. If you made it this far, thank you for watching my video. I hope you liked the content. I always try to look at multiple sources to confirm the information I am telling. You see it a lot in vintage ads of vintage products, that in their descriptions people just copy the information of others, and so you always have to check if this is true. I think that's a good advice in general. Please like, comment, subscribe and share my videos, and I can do with a few subscribers really. Okay, thanks, and see you next time on Vintage Detective.